everyone. Today we're going to do a top-down cardigan. We're going to be using this yarn from Hobby. It's called Cloudy Delight. It is, let's see, 80% acrylic, 20% polyamide. It is a bulky weight, so it's size 5. We'll be using a 7mm crochet hook as recommended. So let's get started. Also, get your stitch markers out. We will be using those. You can use any yarn you want, but today this is what I will be using. I do recommend a bulky yarn. Let's see if we can get the center. Perfect. So to start my cardigan, we will be doing a slip knot. To begin, I have a slip knot on my hook. So we are going to make a chain that's long enough to go around our neckline for a cardigan open in the front. So I'm going to chain 40. Yours might be a little different. 1, 2. Okay, so this will be our chain that goes around our neckline. So we're gonna start. I would just measure this with yours just to make sure that it fits around your neckline. Now we will be adding some stitch markers, so we know where to put our increases. We will need 4 stitch markers. Now, since my chain is 40, this is kind of how I measure it to make sure that my chains, we're going to be putting the stitch markers in the spots to make it even. So we're going to want it to increase in 4 corners. So this is where I will put my stitch markers. I'm going to count 5 and then put. So you can kind of see where our increases are going to be. So this is going to be the front of our cardigan. These are going to be our shoulders and our sleeves, and then this is the back. So now that we have our starting chain, we're going to do a chain 2 to turn. So 1, 2, and then we will do a double crochet. All of our stitches will be double crochet. So we're going to double crochet into each chain. The beginning chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So yarn over, insert our hook to the first chain. Pull through, yarn over, pull through. So there's 1, 2, to the same stitch. We're going to start our increases. Now we have that chain space. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in here so I know where that stitch is. Okay, so here is our first round. Yours should look something like this too. So this is going to be my neck. We're going to keep increasing out always at the stitch markers by doing a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the chain space, and then the rest of the stitches will be double crochets. We're going to chain 2 on each end and turn. Remember, chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So start round 2 with a chain 2 and turn. This yarn is so soft and fluffy. The colors are beautiful. Working into the foundation chain is the hardest part. From now, it's going to be a breeze, and since it is a bulky weight, our project will work up super quickly. So we're going to double crochet into each stitch. I love this yarn too, because if you make a mistake or get twisted or skip a stitch and need to throw an increase in somewhere, you really can't tell. So for that reason, I am not going to count my stitches anymore. If you are someone who needs to count their stitches, feel free. I'm just going to go with where the stitch markers are as my guideline. So now that we're at the stitch marker, we're going to double crochet into that chain space, chain 1, and double crochet again into that chain space, and then put my stitch marker back, and then just continue double, and then we're at the space. Okay, so now our next stitch is going to be in the chain space. So we will double crochet into it, chain 1, and double crochet again into that chain space. And now I will put my stitch marker back into that chain space so I don't lose it. And we will continue. So our chain 2, our turning chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, so that's the end of my round. I'll show you where we're at now. Yours should look something like this too. You can see the shape is starting to come together. We're going to continue going until these stitch markers, fold over. This is your neck. These stitch markers will come under your armpit and your sleeve will come out here. Same with the other side. So we're going to keep going until that happens by just continuing the same pattern. We're at the end. We're going to do a chain 2 and turn. Double crochet in each stitch. When we get to the stitch marker, do an increase by double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then double crochet again in each stitch. In the chain space, do another increase by double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in each stitch across, and then repeat that in each stitch marker. You'll do an increase, and then in each stitch you'll do a double crochet, and you will continue that until the 2 stitch markers can reach under your armpit. So keep going, and then I will meet you back once mine reaches that. So this is how it fits right now. I have 13 rounds. My sleeve holes, my stitch markers are pretty much how where I want my sleeves to start. So we're gonna work the body going around, skipping the sleeves. I'll show you how to do that, and then when we're done, we'll do the sleeves. Finished my top of my cardigan until these 2 stitch markers could fold over and reach under my armpit where my arm goes here. I ended up doing 13 rounds. If you're using the same yarn as me or same bulky type and want yours to look exactly like mine, then do 13 rounds. If you want it a little bit bigger, more oversized, you can do more, and if you need it smaller, then you can do less. But I have 13 rounds. My stitch markers here, So I'm going to show you what we do next. We're going to basically just go back and forth down the body until it gets to the length that we want, and then we'll come back and do back and forth along the sleeves. So here is where I left off. It's right here. Let's see, okay. So we're gonna be working around the body. So once we get to this stitch marker, we're gonna fold it across and we're gonna jump to this side. So I'll show you how to do that. So first I need to chain 2 and turn, and then double crochet into each stitch until we get to that stitch marker. Okay, so now we're at the stitch marker. Take it out. I'm going to do a double crochet into that stitch. I'm gonna fold over. You see where the sleeves are, so I'm gonna fold over to where the next stitch marker is, skipping all of these double crochet, and I'm going to make one into the next stitch marker space. I'm gonna take this stitch marker out. You can leave it in too, but I'm gonna take it out. And then we're gonna continue across the back, double crocheting into each stitch until we get to the next stitch marker, and then we're gonna do the same thing. So double crochet all the way across, and then I will meet you at the next stitch marker. Okay, I'm coming to the next stitch marker. So I'll show you again how we skip the sleeve and jump back across to work on the body section. So I'm at the space. I'm going to take out my stitch marker. You can leave yours in if you want. We're going to do a double crochet into that space. We're going to fold over to our next stitch marker, bring it around, and then we're going to double crochet into this next space. So yarn over, insert a hook, and then double crochet in there. I'm going to take out my stitch marker again. And now I'm just going to work back across the front, doing a double crochet into each stitch. So let's do that, and then once we get to the end of the row, I'll start the next row with you. Okay, so I'm at the last stitch. I will double crochet. Now let me show you what it looks like. The benefit of working top down like this is you can actually go and try it on and make sure that it fits under your arms. So here is what we're working with. You see how our sleeve is formed, our body is going across, and the other sleeve is formed right here. So now we're just going to work along this area, working back and forth until we have the length that we want. So however long you want your cardigan to be. I'm probably going to make mine pretty long just because it's working up so quickly and it's going to be so lightweight still. And then once you have the length that you want, just by working a double crochet into each stitch, going back and forth. Then we'll come back and we'll basically do the same thing on the sleeves until we get the sleeves to the length that we want. But now's a good time, I would recommend, to go try this back on now that you have your sleeves connected. Make sure that your arm fits through this hole, and if it doesn't, then go back, take out this round and do more round with the increases. Or if you think it's too big, maybe you can take out some rows and then restart this a little bit higher up. So I'm going to continue working on the length, and then I will meet you back once I have it as long as I want. So again, just as a reminder, we're going to chain 2 and turn after each of our rows, and our chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And now there's no increases or anything. It's just super easy. Double crochet into each stitch all the way around, and then once you get to the end of the row, chain 2, turn, and double crochet all the way around again. You should have the same number of stitches each round. Since we're not doing any increases now, we're just simply double crocheting in each stitch. Alright guys, so I have the length that I want for my cardigan. I ended up doing 33 more rounds after we ended from the sleeves. So here's where our sleeves connected, and then I just kept going. I did 33 more rounds, basically so it comes to the back of my knee, or like around where my knee is. So I kind of want like a midi length, almost like a maxi duster kind of cardigan. So now that we have our length, let's do the sleeves. Okay, so here is the front and here is the sleeve. So here's our hole. We're gonna connect our yarn and basically just do the same thing of doing rounds all the way until our sleeve is as long as we want. And the good thing about this type of construction is you can actually go and try it on and make sure that it fits you good. So I would recommend joining your yarn in where the armpit area is, that way you can't really see it. And then I'm going to chain 2. I'm not going to count this as a double crochet, so I'm going to double crochet again into that same spot. And then if you notice, this double crochet is kind of facing sideways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 stitches into this one. That way our stitches are kind of even, and then here we can just follow the stitches and just double crochet right into the tops of them all the way around. Okay, so this is what my cardigan looks like right now. I have the sleeve length how I want, the length of it how I want, and now I'm just gonna go and add a little bit of ribbing on the bottom of the sleeves where the wrists are, and then all the way around, up and down the neckline and through the front and the bottom of my cardigan. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm gonna use a 6mm hook for the ribbing, just to keep you a little tighter. So I'm going to attach my yarn on any stitch. I'll choose this stitch right here.
So forgive me, I forgot to record this part, but you're going to want to single crochet decrease all around your sleeve opening before you start this next part.
Now I'm going to chain however long I want my ribbing to be. I think that looks good. So that's 5 chains, and then I'm gonna do 1 turning chain. So that's 6. Now I'm going to do a single crochet in each of these chains. So I should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to slip stitch to the next 2 double crochets. So do a slip stitch and then slip stitch to the next one. Now I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to work down the ribbing. If you can see the back loop only, then I would go through that. I can't really see it, so I'm just going to go through all the loops, just regular single crochets. So I'm going to do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, turn, and then do 5 single crochets back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to do a slip stitch into the next 2 double crochet stitches. So the next one's this one. 1, 2, and then turn your work and then do 5 more single crochets all along the ribbing. So you're going to skip the 2 slip stitches that you just made and then go back into where your ribbing is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1 and turn, and go into the 5 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then do 2 slip stitches into the next 2 double crochets.
Once you get to the end,
doing this until
fasten
you get all
off
the way
your
back
yarn
around.
and then leave a long enough tail that you can use that to seam your ribbing closed, or you can single crochet down the ribbing, both of the panels, to seam it. And then for the body ribbing, you're gonna basically do the same thing without the single crochet decrease first. So just attach your yarn. I recommend starting at the bottom left corner and do the same thing, chain 6, which includes a turning chain, and do the same ribbing all the way around. Once you get to the bottom corner on the other side, we're going to chain another 6, which is what I'm doing here, and then kind of continue your ribbing just in the same pattern. This gives it a nice square corner, and then continue all the way around till you get to the end, and then seam it together just like before. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and free patterns. See you next time.